Hi, Jim here with today's thought, and today we're going to the movies, or well, we're not exactly going to the movies yet. We'll be talking about a movie that is just about to come out, and that movie is Snow White. Now, I just want to mention, just give some compliments to Disney. They're the ones who obviously are making the movie. It's a live-action redo or remake of the original classic animation, Snow White, with some politically correct changes, and that's kind of what I'm going to get into today. But I just want to give them a little compliment, Disney, because their latest two movies are doing, I don't want to go into detail in those movies, but they're doing very well, and they're doing very well because they, well, one of them, the Wolverine, Deadpool team up, it's already done over $1 billion, and it's because all the no political, I was going to say the political correctness has been taken out. It wasn't put in the first place. It's just pure entertainment, my understanding. I have not seen the movie yet, and I probably won't. Maybe when it's available, to stream it. But anyways, I want to talk today about Snow White, because this is one of the holdover movies that it's full with political correctness, and I've seen the trailer for it. I'm not going to put it up, but because number one, I might get a copyright strike for doing it. You can look it up on YouTube, but it's full of political correction, and I would not be hopeful for that movie doing really well. One thing I know about the scene in the movie, well, there's a scene in the original cartoon. You have to remember, Snow White, the seven dwarfs, take her, by the way, who are CGI animations. They're not real, because that would be politically incorrect, I guess, to have actual human being dwarves in the movie, even though they would get some work, because there's probably not a lot of, unless you're Peter Dinklage and unless you're doing, well, Game of Thrones, obviously, but there are not a lot of roles for dwarves. So that's, it would have been some work, but they had to be politically correct. So the dwarves, Snow White is a human female, and the dwarves are CGI images, and they look really, really fake. But the politically correct part is that these dwarves, right? They take her in to her home. They let her live there, and in the cartoon, so she helps them clean up the house. She is, okay, you dwarf, you'll do this, you'll do this, you'll do that, and I will sweep. And she takes a broom and she sweeps, helps them clean up. But in the new politically correct version, she assigns that task to one of the dwarves. In other words, all the dwarves do the cleanup, and she does nothing, because a woman cannot be seen doing household tasks these days. Never mind the trad wives, traditional wives. They call it trad wives movement, which is women who found out that they were not happy in the workforce, and they don't want to get a heart attack so early and high blood pressure like we do. The men who have to go out there and work for some horrible boss every day. So she, or 5 days a week, well, sometimes overtime on weekends. So she, so you can't have that anymore. So she does, they've taken her in, they're feeding her, and she does absolutely no work, and she makes the dwarves work to clean up the place for her. So that's one thing. But the thing I want to get to today, the really politically correct part that really makes no sense, is, well, you have to remember the story of Snow White. We all know the story of Snow White, and mirror, mirror on the wall, the evil queen, mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of them all. And the mirror always answers back. It's a talking mirror, you are, your highness. And then one day the mirror says, no, Snow White is the fairest in the land. So I just want to show you, this is, well, here is a photo of Snow White, side by side, Snow White and the evil queen. So take a look at that photo. Anything strike you there? Something struck me for sure. And, well, here's another photo. These are the actual actresses who are playing the two parts. The one on the left is playing Snow White, and the other one on the right is the actress who plays the evil queen. Did you notice something now? I'm reluctant to say what I'm going to say now because, as I said actually in a preceding video, that it's bad form. I was complaining about Trump saying things, calling Kamala Harris stupid. That's a really dumb thing to do in a campaign. Stick to the issues. But I also said that it's really bad form to criticize a woman's looks. But if you look at those two photos, and they're both, they're women, they're not ugly, but remember, the evil queen, the one on the right, is the one who says, "Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of them all," and then is told that she's always told that she's the fairest in of all. And then one day it's Snow White is when the mirror says is the fairest of them all. Well, as I said, forgive me, I apologize if I'm offending anybody, but it has to be said. And in those two pictures, it's obvious that the mirror got it wrong that time. The evil queen is the more attractive character. The evil queen is more attractive than than Snow White, and it's obvious, I think, that, well, it has to be political correctness that the Snow White is obviously, I'm not going to bother to look it up, I would guess Hispanic, and, well, I guess you don't count as an ethnic group if you're Jewish, or if you're, because that's what Gal Gadot, the one who's playing the evil queen, is. So I guess they're both ethnic, but the other one is politically correct. Snow White is politically correct ethnic, so she is cast as Snow White and is supposed to be the fairest in the land. And I say she's all right. I mean, she's not ugly, and she's fine, but I mean, if the land we're talking about is America, she is not the. She's not. I'm sorry. And that they are miscast. The roles should be reversed if you're staying true to this story, but you're not. So I just had to mention that. And again, I don't mean to offend any women, but that happens to be it happens to be the truth. And I'm not. It's nothing. No attack on the women. It's an attack on Disney and their political correctness. That they are, and again, the story, she's making the dwarves, all the dwarves, clean up the place, even though they took her in and they're giving her free room and board. It's just, well, as I said at the beginning, I gave some compliments to Disney that they apparently got the message. They're tired of losing, they're tired of losing money. The only question I have is what they're going to do with the next Star Wars. Star Wars may be unsalvageable by now, all the political correctness, and it's not, well, to be honest, I mean, the movie, I saw the first one. Obviously I'm old enough. I saw the first movie that came out in 1977. I watched it 3 times. In those days you could stay in the theater and stay for the next show, and I was, I love the story, but now looking, the movie, because of all the science fiction effects and everything, but now looking back, it's not that great, to be honest. Don't mean to offend all you Star Wars fans, but the dialogue was always not very good. Well, I'm getting off on a track here. Just want to get back to, that's my thought. Snow White, the trailer's on YouTube. You can watch it, make your own decision, and decide whether you want to go and see the movie. I'll be surprised if that movie makes a profit or makes a large profit. It's not going to do anything like Deadpool is doing. And the other one, which is an animation one that I think is also done $1 billion. And I honestly don't remember the name of that one. I'm not going to look it up. It's not relevant. So I'm a little old for cartoons. Actually, I'm a little old for superhero movies too. I'm surprised that they get so many grown-ups are going to watch them. people my generation, you reach a point, unless you have a job writing comic books, where you outgrow comic books. And I don't know, I guess put it with video games and adults playing video games. I just saw there's a TV commercial that's been running on the Fox Business Channel, at least, which is the one I watch, that again, you build your own city. It's a video game, and I'm surprised that grown-ups are playing that stuff, but that's just me, and you could be different. But if I can make one little suggestion, I'll end with this: it would not kill you to read a book every now and then. And when I say read a book, I don't mean a graphic novel, which is just an expensive, thicker comic book, and I don't mean manga. I'm surprised when I go to Barnes & Noble how many shelves and shelves of books of manga. And I don't know, there's a lot of good literature out there. It's still there, and you might want to read a book. I mean, an actual book, an adult book, a grown-up book, and, you know, your Hemingway, your Tolstoy. There's a lot out there. It won't kill you. And that's it for today. Thanks for stopping by. If you could subscribe, that would really be great. Share this video with anyone you think would benefit from it. But most of all, come back and see me again. I would love to see all of you again. And until I do see all of you again, bye.